Ladbrokes is rated A by SBR. Click on their logo to learn more. Our resident handicappers are tracking 4 games very closely for tonight's NBA action. Let's find out where they think the value is, starting with that Denver Nuggets against the Indiana Pacers game. The Pacers remain one of the teams to beat, and they're once again big-time favorites at home at -10.5 for tonight. Though they're still 3.5 games up on the Heat, Indiana was left wondering what went wrong in that shocking loss to Orlando last night. The Pacers are going to want to redeem themselves and have a great chance of doing so, considering they're an amazing 24-2 straight up at home this season. The Nuggets are quickly falling out of contention in the Western Conference, as they're now 5 games outside of the 8th seed. Jordan isn't even touching this large spread and is instead taking the under 199. The other game that we have here is the San Antonio Spurs against the Detroit Pistons, and the Pistons will hope to wipe the slate clean and get going when they play host to Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and the Spurs this evening. Current odds show that San Antonio are being favored by 3, even 3.5 points. The Spurs haven't been as dominant as we've come to expect lately, going an even 5-5 straight up over their past 10 contests. As for Detroit, they've won just 2 in a row, but are 4-6 straight up in their last 10. Fortunately for the Pistons, they're in a weak East and still have a legitimate chance of reaching the postseason. Matthew thinks that Detroit will show up with a good effort in response to that coaching change, so he's actually going to take the Pistons at +3.5. The other game that we have here is the Boston Celtics against the Milwaukee Bucks, and Boston has gone 7-18 straight up on the road so far, and is coming off a loss at home to Dallas last night. Jared Sullinger has been playing lights out, and Rajon Rondo appears to be finding his best form, but it didn't matter against the red-hot Mavs. As for Milwaukee, they've still yet to crack the double digits in the winning column, 9-41 straight up for the season, and come in having lost 8 of their last 10. The Bucks, who are 1.5-point underdogs tonight, are 5-19 straight up at home. Jason has broken down the game closely, and he believes that we should be gravitating towards the total play. He thinks these offenses will be stagnant, leading to a cash ticket for the under 191 backers. And the last game that we have here on the board is the Philadelphia 76ers against the Golden State Warriors. And for those of you that took the Clippers to cover the 16 points against the Sixers last night, well done. Surely Philadelphia can do a little bit better tonight in the Oracle Arena. Or maybe not. The Warriors are fighting for their lives in the competitive Western Conference and aren't going to be messing around at all tonight, so another blowout could easily be on the cards. Golden State checks in at 15-9 straight up at home, with Philadelphia sporting a poor 7-19 straight up mark on the road so far this season. It's no surprise to see the Warriors favored by such a large margin, 14.5 or 15, but should we pick them to cover that huge spread? Jeff doesn't care about the chalk, and he's actually taking the Warriors at -14 without a problem. Well, that's all for today. Make sure to check back with us next Wednesday for another episode of SBR Forum's NBA Odds Update, where we'll give you the insider picks from our resident handicappers. For SBR Forum, this is Dax Floyd.